for something or another. And I was part of a team. I think it was my third mission trip, you know. And so I was really, really blessed. Just the work that she's doing in Brazil, and I heard just a whole life, whole story of dedication to the Lord. It blessed me because here in America we really celebrate pastors, and there are a lot of pastors when they get ready to distinguish themselves, then they're going to tell you that they're prophets, and they really want to go to the next level, then they become apostles. And I ain't mad at them, maybe they are, okay, God bless them, but I think that there are people who are really being obedient to the last thing Jesus said before he went to heaven. He said, go into all the world, preach the gospel, and make disciples of men. Go into all the world. And that's what she's done. Originally from Colorado, and she grew up in Canada, and after Bible school and college and all that, she went down to Mexico. I mean, how long have you been there?
28 years, September 1st.
28 years. So for a lot of us, once you guys were born, she was down in Brazil, being obedient to the words, to the will of God. So, you know, the thing that appeals to me too, you know, we talked about the Quilombos, and what did you share with everybody? Just, amen. Just what are you doing there?
Hi. Bom dia. Tudo bem? Tudo bem.
And Portuguese. Y'all can tell me Portuguese?
Okay. But I told you you didn't understand. I said, hello, good morning. They said, good morning back. Asked them how they are. They said, this is your time back. Right. God bless you guys. You're in a blessed church. You know that? You are a blessed church. I went down to Brazil in 1984 and basically concentrated on training national leaders so they would be able to disciple their own people, helping the church, going alongside the church, getting seminars, and strengthening the church. And I always had a desire to be on the front line, basically. You might think it already was, but I mean, what I mean by that is go into places where there's not a whole lot of successful ministry or maybe no ministry at all. And so the Lord enabled me to meet a pastor who was making connections with the Quilombolas. Quilombos are African descendants of slaves, rural communities. And they've been established since the time of slavery, which was in the 1500s when slaves, the Africans made slaves in Brazil, taken from West Africa. And they've been in these rural communities, sometimes very remote communities, sometimes near towns or cities, since that time, and so they are wanting to maintain their traditions, etc. So to get in there, we had to have some kind of connection with them, and the pastor was able to establish that. Later, left that ministry and left me by myself. So it took me 10 months to actually go back to the Quilombos, taking a couple of colleagues with me, and ever since then I've been having ministry in 2 different Quilombos. One of them is a town of about, village basically of about 300 people, maybe 90 families or so. And there's another one more remote where the slaves actually escaped from the Portuguese lords and established a little community farther up into the bush. And Tony's has brought teams, and they have visited both of these Quilombos. You got one in Dula, the bigger one by the river, and the one that's a little bit more remote called São Pedro. And so the way I went in was to basically going back after not having been there 10 months. They thought we kind of forgot about them, you know, and they barely knew us. And that's why I had to win their trust by taking in food. Later, you know, having that distributed through the leadership, always going through the leadership to respect the people. And then later on, the Lord blessed me with a Brazilian team of doctors and dentists and even one ophthalmologist. And we spent, you know, 3 different occasions in 2005 in the larger Quilombo, staying first 4 days and then 7 days and then 10 days. That's why it had quite an impact on the priest, because after 10 days, he would go there and have a mass every month, and happened to be on the Sunday that we were leaving. Well, guess what? Nobody went to mass. After 10 days of light.
Amen.
And that caused some repercussions, though, and my life was even threatened, and was revealed by 2 different, one family of Quilombos. The kids had a dream, and that about, well, that's a long story. And then my maid, who has nothing to do with the Quilombos, had a dream.
Okay.
And it was very specific. And we were still going there, we were going to the other Quilombo Memorial boat and taking a dentist. I was taking a dentist there, who was an African descendant herself, who's now in Mozambique. And we were, in the dream, she just described everything that we had been doing there. So for a while, it was to be safer and be more cautious. We didn't actually sleep in the Quilombo when we were there ministering until the slack stopped, because the priest tried to instigate the people against us, against me. But anyway, the Lord prevailed. I'm still there, still alive, and kicking. So basically, as far as after this, we took the teams in, medical teams in, then the people really liked me. Even the ones that didn't like me were the first ones in line to get their teeth fixed, for example. The real devout Catholics that were trying to get the people to reject me. And so basically, started the Bible study with some of the Christians. Some people came to the Lord, and basically the challenge is really discipling them. And still, the little that I'm doing is, I feel very little, and hopefully that will change in a while, where we'll really be able to minister to people on a larger scale, and having won their countries of war, so with the different projects that we're planning in the next year. But that's basically in a nutshell what I've been doing at Quilombo. It's a challenging ministry, but I love it because the more bugs, the better.
I want to share a story. The last time we were down there, we had a team, and we didn't get to, we stayed in it's like these dormitories, and so to get there, it was, I think we were around like 1 in the morning, got off the bus, and that was so cool. It was Homer, you guys know Homer, right? It was me and Homer, we were the only males, so I think we had 16 females, okay? Right, okay, so I was in the front, Homer had to bring up the rear, and I made a rule. Ladies, if you ever see Homer behind, you're out of order. You always be in front of Homer, okay? You look at everything behind you, out of order. So anyway, we finally get everybody across this river. We have no light, and it's just one of them. It was funny. We could hear it, but we couldn't see it. But everybody got over. And we got everybody to bed, and Lisa said, Pastor, there's a young girl, and we don't know what's going on with her, and we need to get up to the location where she is. I want you to come with me. We need to do some prayer. We don't know what's going on with the young lady. And so I looked around, I told Jackie to take care of the team, and I took Brenda Silas. Brenda got in the car with me, and we got in Lisa's, she has like a Toyota 4Runner, but it's what do you have? Mitsubishi, right? It's Martello, so a little four-wheel drive, and so we jump in. My God, how many guys have seen Indiana Jones? Lisa's driving through this jungle. I'm pulling all tight. And Lisa's in the back, we're playing. Lisa's just driving, cars flying away in the jungles, and it was like, she was right at home, right? Music cranked up, like, I'm not sure what it is. It really does. I mean, just to feel our heart, and we go across the little bridge, and it's going across this river, there's no guardrails, and it's like no fear. And I'm like, Lord God. So anyway, we get there, and we minister to the girl and her family, and we come back. But we've had a blast with her, not only in the remote areas, but also we were in Sao Paulo, which is the second largest city in the world. We're in the downtown district. We're ministering to the homeless there. There's so many streetscapes there that are, that is amazing. How many kids are running around homeless there? They go in these buildings and they take up the carpet, pull up the carpet, and they put a padding that's under the carpet, and that's what they wrap themselves in to keep warm at night. So you see all these kids running around through the streets with these carpet, the padding on there. And so we spend time ministering to the kids too. So she's done a phenomenal work. I mean, I'm just so proud to know her, and I thank God for her. So when I'm talking to you guys, when you're seeing these people up on the screen, trust me, this is a great work that we're doing. Can we stand and give these a hand, please? Just let them know how much you care about your education. Amen.
Real quick, Romans 10, 14, and 15, many of you are familiar with it. How then can they be called on the one they have not believed in? And how can they believe in the one whom they have not heard? And how can they hear without someone to preach to them? how can they preach unless they're sent? That's where you guys come in. You're not going to send. Amen? God bless God.